A day after Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney said that the old bilateral relationship between Canada and the United States was over, he and President Trump had a conversation that both men described as productive. But those Canadian tariffs are still coming. Meanwhile, Vice President J.D. Vance landed at a U.S. military base in Greenland amid concerns that the United States is seeking to seize control of the Danish island territory. Seize, annex, using military power. This is the same language that Vladimir Putin uses often about Ukraine. Joining me now is MSNBC political analyst and former Undersecretary of State, Rick Stengel. Rick, when it comes to this language that the president is using, and the president, vice president, the whole of the administration really, about Canada, about Greenland, I am increasingly becoming more concerned because it sounds to me like the same arguments Vladimir Putin made before he invaded Crimea back in 2014.
Yes, it does, Simone. And it's a far cry from the American first ideology, which was always isolationist, not expansionist. I don't understand how he justifies being an expansionist president when America first is about just dealing with all the issues at home. Why is he wandering over to Greenland and other places? But I have a theory of the case. Would you like to hear it?
Yes, I would.
Okay. I think somebody told Trump that to be a great American president, you either have to win a war or expand the territory of the country. And in that latter case are presidents that he talks about all the time now: McKinley, Roosevelt, Polk, right? Jefferson with the Louisiana Purchase. I think he thinks for me to be a great American president, I have to expand the territory of America. And the other thing is that, and if you go back to that period, that 19th century doctrine called sphere of influence, where countries were allowed to do whatever they wanted in their sphere of influence. That's the source of the Monroe Doctrine, right? Which was our example of sphere of influence of North and South America. I think that's how he thinks about the world. And to go back to your first point, that's how Vladimir Putin thinks about the world, and that's how Xi Jinping thinks about the world.
I mean, how can we give some assurances to the people in Taiwan when you've got the president of the United States talking like this? It's crazy. Can we just zero in on Greenland for a second? Greenland snubbed the Vances, and this is a headline from the Daily Beast. They write, American officials went door to door in Greenland's capital looking for residents who would welcome a visit from Usha Vance during her upcoming trip. And every single one of them said no, according to a Danish TV report. The second lady and her husband, Vice President J.D. Vance, will follow a pared-back itinerary after nobody wanted to see Usha Vance. The people in Greenland, Rick, they don't want to be American. They actually don't even want to be Danish. They're on record in the papers, on their own television, talking about how they want to be independent Greenlanders.
Yes. Yeah, so they got home rule in like 1980, and then they've had more independence ever since then. Right. They don't want to be a part of Denmark either, much less the United States. But the whole thing is like a kind of a Pirates of Penzance, Gilbert and Sullivan comedy, right? Nobody wants the vice president to be there. He doesn't know virtually where he is. You know, Greenland it's an unusual place, right? It is strategic. Other American presidents have coveted it before. Harry Truman supposedly offered $100 million to buy it after World War II. It's between North America and Europe and Russia. And so, yes, and the Russians and the Chinese have been expanding their mineral rights and drilling all around the world. So there's a reason to have a relationship with Greenland. There's a reason to have a partnership with Greenland. There's a reason to have a treaty with Greenland. There's no reason to annex Greenland.
There's a reason why we have a military base there. I will note that before the vice president and his wife took off to this trip to Greenland, Vladimir Putin said that, you know, he had no problem with Donald Trump's proposed land grab of the world's largest island. Go figure.